Hi there, welcome to BoxPred. This is my prediction video for the upcoming fight this Saturday, the 16th of July, between Kevin Mitchell and John Murray. This fight is for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Lightweight title, and this is a big fight because they are two top domestic fighters here in the UK going up against each other, and the winner will more than likely be getting a world title shot at lightweight. Now my prediction for this fight is a victory for Kevin Mitchell by decision. The records show that Kevin Mitchell has 31 victories, 1 loss, no draws, around a 71% knockout ratio, whilst John Murray has 31 victories unbeaten with no losses and no draws, around a 58% knockout ratio. Before I begin, my prediction of a decision I do make with an air of caution, as looking at the record of these two guys, over the last few fights that they've had, they have got quite a lot of stoppages to their name, and both guys do have power. Let's just take a look at Kevin Mitchell first. In his last fight he lost. He lost by TKO in round 3 against Michael Katsidis. The question is, how does he bounce back from that? He has had personal problems, I believe, in between since losing that fight and coming back into the ring now, because that was sort of his big shot, and unfortunately he was beaten. And that's led many to obviously question, is that the blueprint to beat Kevin Mitchell? Because Katsidis is a very good pressure fighter. That is his tag. He's a pressure fighter, and he basically swarmed Kevin Mitchell and got him out of there rather early. In this fight, I believe Kevin Mitchell is the quicker and sharper fighter. I believe he has better footwork and movement than John Murray, in my opinion. He does have power. He's got the 71% on the knockouts. Kevin Mitchell has power. But I also believe that John Murray has power as well. I know he looked bad in his last fight, but I do feel that as he's worked his way through fights, I think he does have the power there, certainly in this match, to stop the fight. I think both guys do. Now, just moving on to John Murray, he, I think, is somewhat known as a bit of a pressure fighter. He has a good defense, I think, John Murray, and this is what the type of style you see with guys who hold quite a high guard, and they're able. And I'm going to compare him to another lightweight here, a lightweight world champion, Brandon Rios, who fought the other night. They keep the high guard. They come in sort of low. They come in willing to take some shots on the gloves or anywhere really, and they can take them, and then they come back when the opening appears. That is a style in itself. I think that's the style that Murray likes to use. He likes to absorb some pressure and come back. A lot of people, from what I've seen, have been saying he should use what Katsidis did, and John Murray is a pressure fighter, therefore Mitchell lost to Katsidis, so this is going to go the same way. Murray is going to be able to pressurize Mitchell and get him out of there, or basically win the fight by doing that. The problem I see is, in terms of pressure fighting, I don't think Murray is on the level of Katsidis. Katsidis has far better head movement and movement in general, moving in. You look at the way he moves in, he's bobbing his head, constantly moving, not being a stationary target. I think John Murray is far more of a stationary target. He is more like a Brandon Rios, who will come in and he'll be more still and steady, and he'll take the shots, and then he'll come back with his own. So I don't think the comparison with Katsidis is quite accurate. I don't think it's accurate. I don't think that I don't think he has as much chance as Katsidis to pressurise him. And also in fights that I've seen Murray in, he's actually been pushed back himself. Um, he is known to be pushed back. He doesn't constantly come forward. Um, he he absorbs pressure and then comes back. He needs to use that good defence in this one. He needs to, in my opinion, in particular, look for those body shots. I think he needs to try and close the gap. I think he needs to get close to Mitchell. If I was John Murray, that would be my preference, to try and get closer and wait for the openings. If you give distance to Mitchell now in this fight, I think Mitchell will just is the superior in speed and in reflexes and in general open boxing terms. I think Mitchell can take this fight. You can just work it to points. If Murray doesn't close that gap, in my opinion, I think Murray needs to close the gap. Get close, like I say again, the reference I'm going to make is Brandon Rios. Get close to your opponent. You don't have to push forward constantly. This is what Murray does well as well. You don't have to constantly push forward and forward and forward, you know, trying to get close. You can draw the opponent in as well. That's what Murray does well. He draws his opponent in. Mitchell has to be very careful here. He doesn't get drawn too close to Murray, because that's where Murray's comfort zone is. I think if this fight is brought more towards the inside, John Murray is going to be in more of his comfort zone. I think Mitchell wants to keep distance in this one, and he wants to keep reflexes. He wants to keep moving around. He wants to take Murray out of that comfort zone, open Murray up a bit, because Murray keeps that high guard. He needs to open Murray up, and he needs to use his speed to get those shots in there quickly. And he needs to try and, if he can, try and make John Murray take the initiative first. Because what Murray likes to do is you take the initiative, then he'll wait for that opening and he'll take you. You'll get body shots in, he'll come in. He'll try and sometimes counter. What Mitchell needs to do is make Murray use the initiative, and then Mitchell can use his speed and his reflexes to counter, which he can do very effectively in my opinion. Now, that's my breakdown of both fighters, really, and what I see sort of their strengths and weaknesses. I think for Kevin Mitchell, in this one, he needs to try and use different angles, because Murray's defence is quite difficult to penetrate sometimes when he keeps the high guard. But like I said, if he can draw Murray out, if he can keep that distance, then he can open Murray up. And Murray will be looking for the initiative. Murray might drop his hands. Maybe. That's where Mitchell has his chance to come in with his counters. That's where Mitchell has a chance to land clean shots. Because what he doesn't want to be doing, Mitchell, he's throwing more volume, but not getting the clean shots. We saw it in Matthew Macklin against Felix Sturm. Sometimes the clean shots are what the judges are looking at. So he could pound away at John Murray's gloves, but then because he may be on the inside or coming closer to the inside. All of a sudden, John Murray waits for that opening and comes in and gets some clean shots, which the judges are going to pick up on. So, just to quickly finalise, Kevin Mitchell for me needs distance. John Murray needs to draw him in, and a balance of drawing Mitchell in and coming forward to close that gap, close the distance, bring him more to the inside, use a high defence, and then get those clean shots. I know both these guys have power, but in this one I've gone for Kevin Mitchell by decision, and my reason being, I feel that Kevin Mitchell will have learned from the Casillas fight that he needs to try and keep more distance. I think he will have been working hard with his trainer on this, how to keep distance. I think he will. Another thing is Kevin Mitchell sometimes likes to tear up, so I hope here that he doesn't go against what I'm saying and try to fight on the inside. If he does that, I think John Murray will be in his element. I think John Murray will be far more comfortable there. I think Mitchell needs to use his natural ability of speed and reflex to keep this fight at distance, and Murray needs to close the gap. I think what's going to happen is Mitchell's going to be successful keeping the distance. Even if he does come inside, I'm expecting him to land more volume. I'm expecting the judges to like the volume of Mitchell, and I'm expecting Mitchell to box his way to a decision here. It could be quite close, but I think Mitchell will have too much work rate, too much movement, and I think he will, in the end, get too many shots off on Murray without Murray being able to return them, if you get what I'm saying. So they're my thoughts. I'm going to end it here. It's getting a bit long. Please let me know what you guys think. It's a good big domestic fight this Saturday. Looking forward to it. Please comment on this page, on my homepage. Subscribe if you like my videos. Thank you for watching. This is BoxPred and I'm out.